Hello, and welcome to This Ability on Disability News TV. In this episode, we are exploring the ability of a phenomenal Ghanaian woman, Professor Augustina Naami, an academic with a disability. Professor Augustina Naami is the head of the Department of Social Work at the University of Ghana. Recently, DisabilityNewsGH.com reported her remarkable promotion to Associate Professor, a testament to her dedication and expertise. Beyond her impressive academic credentials from renowned local and international universities and her numerous awards and accolades, we are excited to explore her inspiring journey, her contributions to our academia, and the significance of this achievement. We want to put on record that Professor Naami is the first Ghanaian woman with a disability to attain this height in academia, at least in Ghana. Professor Naami, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, sir.
And congratulations on your well-deserved promotion.
Thank you.
Let me start with this one. First of all, since the announcement of your promotion, we have tried to do a little research to see if there has been any Ghanaian woman professor with a disability, and we found none. How do you feel about being the first to attain this?
So I want to say that it is fulfilling.
Okay.
It is fulfilling. I mean, definitely it is fulfilling. But I want to give glory to the Lord God Almighty for His grace. The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ never runs out. And I always tell people that I am an epitome of the grace of God, because it hasn't been an easy journey, but the grace of God has brought me this far.
I'm very happy to know about your connection with God and how you get inspired by Him. Now, let's start the conversation proper. I want us to begin with your personal and professional journey. So I'm starting with this. What inspired you to pursue an academic career, and what have been some of the most significant milestones in your journey?
A very good question. You know, I started as a development worker. So for 7 good years, I was working with non-for-profit organizations with the focus or goal of empowering persons with disabilities and advocating for their rights. Then I realized that there was a gap in knowledge in terms of the experiences of persons with disabilities, the challenges persons with disabilities, go through. So I decided to embark on this journey. And when I first started my PhD, there were only 3 scholars, writing on disability in Ghana here. So even my PhD dissertation, it was difficult for me to get literature on disability.
Okay.
So I got inspired to just tell the stories of persons with disabilities, to throw more light on some of the challenges that they face on a daily basis. So one of the motivations is to contribute to literature so that people will get to know about what is happening in the field of disability. And I also have passion to teach.
Yes.
And the passion to teach, the passion to mentor, the passion to inspire, it's also another motivating factor. And usually, sometimes after class, students walk with you and tell you how inspired or motivated they've been because of whatever I said in the classroom. Sometimes I get emails from past students who tell me how they've been inspired, motivated by my teachings, and so on and so forth. That is another motivating factor. And the other one is about my contribution to society, providing professional, services to my community, to the society. And I think a very clear example has to do with a research that I did to understand the access or physical access and transportation access barriers that persons with disabilities are faced on a daily basis. And out of that research, I have been able to construct an accessible, foldable mobile ramp.
Oh.
And I also try to practicalize the whatever research outcomes that I had from the study. And I developed a book. I wrote a book, actually, a book. And the book, I would say, is a manual. And the focus of the manual was to try to get social workers to appreciate some of the barriers, major barriers that persons with disabilities face when it comes to access. And then I also gave step-by-step actions that could be taken to address those barriers, and not just social workers. The manual also focused on disability activists and just the general population. And currently, I serve on several boards, of faith-based organizations, of civil society organizations, of NGOs, in Ghana and beyond. And at the university here, I serve on several boards as well. So these have been some of the motivations, just so that I could contribute to knowledge when it comes to disability issues in Ghana, and then also to teach, mentor, inspire students, and to contribute to society.
I am so overwhelmed with your achievement, what you've done for people with disabilities, and what you keep on doing, and you keep climbing the ladder of success all the time. I'm very happy. So let's continue. How do you balance your academic responsibilities with your personal life, and what self-care practices do you prioritize?
That is a tough one. That's a very tough one. But one thing that I do is to manage my time very well. So I practice very good time management. So when it is time for me to rest, it is time for me to rest. My phone will be on silence. I won't fidget with the phone. I won't leave the phone on voice for me to be distracted. I usually will want to have quality rest when I am resting. People usually will say, or doctors and other people will advise that we should sleep for 8 hours.
That's true.
I don't have 8 hours. That's what I always tell people. I don't have 8 hours. I used to do 6 hours of sleep every night. But when I became the head of department, the 6 hours were too much.
For you?
Yes, I thought you asked me why.
Yes, I wanted to ask. Because of duty?
The thing is this. My job as an academic is demanding, right?
Exactly.
Right, okay. And then I also have a lot of responsibilities that I engage in the community, right? In my church, I have a lot of responsibilities. And then I'm also a mother. So if you want to combine all these things, and on top of it, I cannot run away from the fact that my disability, my impairment, does place some impact on my general well-being. I cannot run away from that fact.
Yes.
And so I also need time to manage the pain and the other challenges that the impairment places on me. Okay, so I need time for all of these. So if I have to sleep 8 hours that everybody is sleeping, and I need about, let's say, 2 hours to manage the pain, the other things that, the impairment presents, then I won't have time to do every other thing that I have to do. So time management is very crucial. Yes. And every person with a disability will tell you that for you to be able to stand out, you have to overcompensate for your disability. For example, when anybody gets up in the morning, you want to go to work, you can quickly jump out of your bed, rush to the bathroom, shower, and in no time, you are done. Right?
But that is not...
If you don't have a disability. But for me, when I get up in the morning, I have to first think about how to transfer to my wheelchair, wheel myself to the bathroom, transfer to the bathroom chair, shower, transfer, come back, try to wear on all my braces and all those things. That alone is a lot of work.
It drains a lot of energy.
And then you finish, you are ready to go. The environment is not accessible. You have to struggle your way before you get to your office. So by the time you go out and come back, you are already tired.
Very exhausted.
Right. So you need time to manage the tiredness, the fatigue, the pain, and other things that the disability presents. But you also need time to perform your responsibilities. Right. So these are some of the challenges, and that's how come I would say that I had to cut my sleep. And every successful person will tell you that if you really, really want to succeed, you cannot do what everybody else is doing. You really need to find ways to work yourself out so that you can stand out. So if everybody is sleeping for 8 hours and you go for 8 hours, maybe. For me, I felt that if I do that, it wasn't going to help me because I had so much work to do and I have to sit up and live up to the expectations. So other things that I do is that I try to eat healthy. So I am very particular about what I eat. Yes, I'm very particular about what I eat. I also do exercises, just so that I could manage some of the challenges that the impairment present. I also go for massage therapy to help manage the pain and other things that the impairment present.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Okay, so we are now going to talk about disability and academia. As a Ghanaian woman with a disability, what unique challenges, opportunities have you encountered in your academic career?
That's a good question. But what I would say is that to be in academia, see, the field of academia is such that once you qualify and you are in there, whatever opportunities are there, you will have to
embrace.
No, you will have to look for the opportunities and make use of them. So, and it's open. And one thing I want to stress is that in every field of endeavor, the qualification is very important. So you qualify, then you are in the environment, and then whatever resources are available because you qualify, you could also apply for those resources and then get them. I remember that when I first came here at the University of Ghana, I had this idea of getting persons with disabilities themselves to tell their stories in a unique way, whereby I, as a researcher, will not be the person asking them the questions, but they collecting data for me. And that was the project on accessibility that I talked about. So I put together a proposal and sought for funding within the university and Banga Africa. So when they saw my proposal, they saw the innovativeness of the project and they embraced it and yes, and paid for, and gave me funding for that research. And I want to say that that project really, really was one of the groundbreaking, research that I have ever done, whereby I gave persons with disabilities, 10 of them, cameras for 2 months. They went around, picked or took pictures of any encounter that they believe, restricted their movement or obstructed their movement or impeded their participation and inclusion in mainstream society. And that I used to tell their stories. You see the picture, and the picture speaks a lot. It tells you the story. So the opportunities are there. You qualify, you apply, you get it. So usually I'm very hesitant to say that if you have a disability, well, there are times that if you have a disability, such opportunities will be difficult for you to get.
Yes,
but I cannot say the same in academia. If you qualify and you put in the application, you should be able to.
Okay. How do you think academia can become more inclusive and supportive of individuals with disabilities, and what role do you see yourself playing in this effort?
I can say that working at the University of Ghana has been very interesting because accommodation is usually made for me. So my classes are usually on the ground floor. And as the head of department, and even before I became the head of department, some meetings, if they were originally going to be held in some places that were not accessible, once management get to know that I am part of the meeting, they try to accommodate me, find accessible places for those meetings. So that I can say for sure.
So I am on disability and academia. I'm taking the last question there. I want to ask what message or advice you would like to convey to young women with disabilities who aspire to pursue academic careers.
You just have to know that you are unique and you are not a mistake. God did not just place you here for nothing. God has a purpose for each and every one of us. There is a Bible quotation that I love so much. It says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is what I always tell people, So believe in yourself. And you have to have a vision. You just don't get up and say that because I have a disability, I don't want to do anything or there's nothing I can do. No, believe in yourself, have a vision. And having a vision is not enough. You have to get a plan as to how you will reach what you want to see or where you want to get to. So these things are very important. And then I will also say that you should look for people who have charted the path, okay? And whatever resources that will be available for you to use. It's important you look out for all these things. And I also want to say that it is a journey. It can be tough sometimes. It can be very rough. If you have a disability, the barriers alone can sometimes intimidate and discourage you. If for nothing at all, people's attitudes alone can be so frustrating sometimes. But don't give up. Never give up. Quitting shouldn't be an option.
Not at all.
Because you have a goal. There's a vision. You have a vision.
You must reach it.
There's a place you want to get to.
Exactly.
Put your eye on that and keep moving. Don't let anyone stop you. I usually don't associate myself with people who are pessimistic. No, I don't do that. I want people who believe me and say that, Tina, you can make it. People who will encourage and motivate me. Because, like I said, for me, quitting has never been an option and it will never be an option. And you have to persevere until you get to where you want to get to. And it is possible. You can make it. If others have made it, how different are they from you? I have a disability. If I am able to get here, what is preventing you? So yes, I would advise everybody, whether you have a disability or you don't have a disability, just make the effort. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Naami.
Part 2 continues.